The beginning of this week's Parsha, Parsha's Tzav, we actually say every day. It's found in our Siddur, in the section of Karbanes, and it's the Parsha of Trumas Hadeshen, the taking out of the ashes of the Mizbeach off of the Mizbeach. We discussed this last year a little bit. How a Kohen, the Parsha starts off saying how a Kohen has to go every day, take a spoonful or a shovelful of ashes, place it next to the Mizbeach. Whenever the heap of ashes would get too big, another Kohen had to come take all the ashes and disperse them and get rid of them, let them scatter in the ashes outside of the Temple Mount. And the third thing we mention every day, the third part of Tzav, is that there was a constant fire on top of the Mizbeach, Eish Tamid Tukad al Mizbeach Leisichbe. A constant fire which could not be extinguished had to be on top of the Mizbeach. Now, obviously, these teachings are connected and they're put in the Parsha together, right? Simply put, scientifically put, the connection is that because we're dealing with a constant fire, therefore there's going to be a lot of ashes that Torah needs to tell us how to handle. Why do we need a Kohen to constantly take out the ashes? Because there's a constant fire which produces a lot of ashes. That's the simple, basic connection between these teachings. But based on a teaching that I just read recently from Rabbi Shamshon Raphael Hirsch, one of the leaders of German Judaism in the early 1900s, one of the leaders who was fighting the Reformed and Conservative movement and considered one of the founders of Orthodoxy, the way he describes these mitzvahs of getting rid of the ashes of the Mizbeach, we can actually find a beautiful lesson and perhaps daily meditation into this part of the Siddur that we read every day, of the taking out of the ashes and the constant fire that must be on the Mizbeach. Rabbi Hirsch explains as follows. What does it mean to take out the ashes from the Mizbeach and to take out a spoonful every day? The ashes that existed on the Mizbeach in the morning, this service of the Mizbeach, of the ashes of the Mizbeach, was done first thing in the morning. Which ashes are left first thing in the morning on the Mizbeach? Any of the ashes from the sacrifices that were on the Mizbeach last night. So that means last night certain sacrifices and limbs of sacrifices were left on the Mizbeach. The fire burnt them all night. In the morning, the first thing the Kohen has to do is to take away the ashes and to get rid of them, or at least a part of them. This represents how every day we need to face anew. Naturally, we fall into certain patterns, and every day just becomes continuing a narrative of yesterday. That my life's been going on this far for this long, in this and this way, and this pattern, and at this point I just start going on monotone, and I'm never even able to revisit and become fresh and find new vigor in life. The first thing the Kohen had to do when entering God's house, what does it mean to be in a godly space? Take the ashes, take whatever exists of yesterday. The fact that today is not a continuation of yesterday. Take yesterday, throw it away, and today begin your life anew. Live every day as if it's your first. And this is represented in the taking out of the ashes of yesterday. Clear away yesterday. Today is a new day. Today is a new me. And to learn how to find, as the Medrash says, how to make Judaism and how to make life every day new, as if it's the first day. As if it's the first day that today when I learn Torah should be the first day, as if it's the first day that I learn Torah. The first day of school, a kid is so excited. So maybe day 100, a kid can learn to make it like day 1. In the beginning of a marriage, spouses are so excited. So maybe in year 10, spouses could make it feel like day 1 again. This is the avodah, the very rich and rewarding avodah, yet very challenging avodah of being able to throw away the past. Not to forget that it never happened. Obviously, we gain memories, we gain perspective, but to be able to not make today just a continuity to yesterday and to the years before, but today begins a new me. Now the question is how? I want to discuss this a little bit according to Chassidus, because at the end of the day, there's a reason. It's only natural that the beginning is exciting, and once I get into routine, it becomes routine. I have now just developed habits of doing certain things. In the beginning, I notice how exciting they are, but now they're just part of my day-to-day ritual. How can I keep it exciting, and how can I make it feel fresh and new? And the explanation is very deep. Chassidus discusses this. The Rebbe's Maimarim discuss this. Ironically, in the Maimarim of Tisha B'Av, Tzion B'Mishpat Tipada, and to see them in the Oisius of Chassidus, look over there. But the explanation is, at least if we're going to give a mashal, like the difference between hearing a class, reading a book, or hearing a song. A good book you could read, and it gives you such clarity, perspective. It hits home. But how many times could you read a good book again and again? At some point, it starts getting boring. But a song, your favorite song, how often can you hear that song? You could hear it again and again and again and again, and it doesn't grow old. What's the difference between a song and a class? Why a class can you hear once, twice, until you get the concepts and then move on? But a song you could listen to and listen to and listen to and listen to. Because a song is experiential. You're not hearing concepts that fit in your brain. You're hearing soul. And the experience you're getting in a song is that it's plugging you back into your own soul. And the soul is timeless. If I'm dealing with activities and habits and seichel, intellect, which are deal with the conscious of the person, so the conscious person is found within time and space, and therefore time moves on. So I'm caught in the confines of time, and having heard something before, I can't just pretend that I didn't. Time moves on, and at this point, this is the second time that I'm hearing something that I've heard before, etc. But the soul is timeless, and a song which touches your soul feels fresh every time. There's a beautiful story about this from the third president of Israel, President Shazar, who came from a Chabad home and actually deviated a little bit and joined the Zionist movement and paved his own path. And he writes a beautiful poem describing his last Shabbos with his grandfather, how they sat there davening together, discussing Divrei Torah, farbringing, singing, and his grandfather, before he kissed him off when he was going to move to Palestine and join the Zionist movement, told him, listen here, there's one niggin, the Alter Rebbe's niggin, that we sing at weddings, which is a holy special niggin. And in that niggin, every chassid's soul is rooted. If there's sometimes you hear a song and you try to recall it, you can't bring it back. That means that's not the song of your soul. Sometimes you hear a song and it's always in your head, but it starts frustrating you. That means it's not the song of your soul. Then sometimes there's a song that you can always recall, no matter what, and it always brings you back and lets you feel yourself. That is the song in which your soul is rooted, and every Chabad Chassid is rooted in the song of the Alter Rebbe's niggin. Throughout your life, try to recall this niggin, and if you can still bring it back, that means you're still rooted in your roots. And the moment you can't bring this song back of the Alter Rebbe's niggin, that means you've become out of touch with your soul, and it's time to get introspective and to do tshuva. And Shazar said this conversation seared into him, and for the rest of his life, when he had a difficult decision to make, he did sing the Alter Rebbe's niggin to himself, and he said till the end of his days, the song would always come back to him and would give him clarity and strength when he had tough decisions to make. So if I face Judaism, or if I face life formally, as a human, then I can't just pretend year 10 is like year 1. I can't pretend day 100 is like day 1. It's not. There are the time exists, and this is day 100 to day 1. But if I face life from a much more humble, pneumistic space, if I face life with my soul, and I look to find in life not just what meets the eye, not just what comes to me superficially, like when I'm hearing a class, but I'm looking to find the music of life. I'm looking to tap into the music and the emotion and the soul of marriage. I'm not just doing mitzvahs because they are routines, but I'm finding that this connects me to a song, this connects me to God and to the love affair that exists between Jews and Hashem. Then every day I could face life fresh. A new mitzvah, a new opportunity to connect to Hashem was just given to me today. It's not a new mitzvah based on its mechanics. Its mechanics always existed. But the opportunity to connect soul to soul with Hashem, to have my soul touched, and a soul bond with Hashem, and that is timeless, that will always feel fresh. Just like that song that always feels fresh to the soul, always hits home, and you could hear it over and over again and not get tired. We could turn our entire lives into that. We can turn every relationship into that. And every day I could wake up to see, look at this playing field that God just gave me. I have to notice the music in life, the pnimius in life. And if I show up to life with my pnimius, with my full authenticity, with my soul, trying to find the soul of the world, Hashem, which is pulsating through life, and trying to find Him. So if I'm really attaching to Hashem, soul to soul, then every opportunity really is new. A new meeting with Ein Sof, a new meeting with infinity. And that never gets old. And this is what the representation of getting rid of the ashes, being able to live in a space that yesterday really never happened. Right now, I'm having a moment of truth with God and with my soul. And this is how the Parsha ends. And every day we say this. Every day we should try to put ourselves in this headspace. And as the Parsha ends, Eish tamid tukad al mizbeach leisichba, a constant fire should be a flame. Our hearts are able to constantly be aflame, and not just because initially we started our Judaism and we were on fire, or we started anything and we were on fire. And now slowly that ambition and vitality becomes routine and monotone. But the Ita A is there to give us the opportunity and to teach us how to be Eish Tamid Tukad Al Mizbeach Leisichba, to allow that constant fire to exist in the Jew, that whether I've had a bumpy road until now, I could start fresh. And even if I didn't have a bumpy road until now and I've actually been successful, which oftentimes makes it even harder to catch fire. At this point, I have good routines. So remove the ashes, break out of the ego, break out of the routine. Don't see life and our successes as routine. See them as hearing the song of life, connecting soul to soul with God. And at that point, we could have a Eish Tamid, we could have a constant fire. Even if we're doing the same activities that we've been doing time and time again every year of our life, we could literally wake up every day as if today is the first day of my existence, the first day of my Judaism, first day of my marriage, my job, etc., etc. Have a great Shabbos.